r/AskReddit. When did you realize you were attractive? When I wasn't attractive anymore. This is all too true. I never really obsessed about my looks. But I took it as given that I was kinda ugly and that any romantic success I may have had came down to charisma. Now, at 38 I see pictures of me in my mid-20s and holy hit. I was beautiful. Your 58-year-old self will think the same about your 38-year-old pictures. When a few of my female friends told me I used to have such a crush on you in high school. In fact, a lot of girls did. I never knew about it, so I never made any passes at them and went through high school thinking I looked like a potato. The same thing happened to me too. The numbers started to add up when I would talk to former classmates back in my hometown. Also, this girl I used to have a huge crush on, that I assumed was out of my league, was really into me. I was just too naive to see it. Anyways, that experience was a huge booster for me. Edit, a word. Edit 2, whoa. By far my most upvoted comment. Thank you all for your kindness. I almost shed a tear. How do we men not notice? When my nana told me how handsome I am. She's always telling me that. Me grandma was 102. Suffering from dementia. One day she didn't recognize me and my aunt told her, "This is your grandson, point the son of your son," to which my grandma replied, "No wonder he is so handsome." Bittersweet. Am I the only one who wants some pics to see if they match? You're not alone. I'm here with you. When I started getting all these emails from hot singles in my area wanting to hook up. Dude, me too. We are all attractive. Woohoo. When I was a kid I never thought of myself as attractive. The boys at school and the girls made it very clear that I was a buck-toothed freak. We went on holiday to Cape Town December 1998. I was 13 then. And we were in a restaurant one day after a few days of sun and swimming, and I went to the bathroom. As I was washing my hands I looked up into the mirror and suddenly my face looked different. Guess the tan paid off well against sun-bleached blonde hair. I just stared at myself and wondered if it really was me. I didn't recognize myself. Shrugged it off and went back to my family. But I then started noticing that grown-ass men were staring at me. It freaked me out. Boys started wanting to hang out with me on the beach. It freaked me out. I was never hot. And I never wanted to be. But that was the day I realized that I wasn't a total troll. I like this comment a lot. For some reason, a little bit of self-confidence genuinely does show on the outside as well. I admire people that can pull off the completely untanned look. I go from a 6 to a 7.5 after a few days in the sun. When tanned equals aesthetic as duck. When pale equals sack of potatoes. FML. Edit. Duck, this Reddit is full of pervs. If you send me XLE suggestive messages related to this post I will report you and block you. Also, I'm a dude, not a chick. So for the purpose of clarity I'm gonna have to do away with any kind of humility. So I realized I was kind of attractive when people that I thought were attractive seemed romantically interested in me. I wasn't a good looking or cool kid, but when I hit 16 I started getting way more attention from girls that I thought were hot. When I hit 19 I knew I had become really attractive because, and this is something that I was only able to recognize because I'd seen it happen with a buddy of mine who had always been a good looking guy. People would talk about it, my good looks, as if it were fact or a foregone conclusion. I think that's when you know someone's really good looking. When you go out to the club and other guys assume that the hottest girls are interested in you. Or girls assume you've got a long list of other girls lining up for a date, or people say things like you should be a model. Another big one from when I was younger, early 20s, was older women and gay men will just straight up say it. I think it's because they know you're probably not interested in them, so the uncomfortability of rejection is taken off the table, so they can be very open, but yeah, they'll just blurt it out like it ain't a thing. Oh, that's definitely true. When people act like you're full of hit when you say you're not that attractive is another big one. Older women definitely shoot their shot so causally it throws me off too. When people act like you're full of hit when you say you're not. That attractive is another big one. This is so real. When someone compliments your appearance and you get flustered / brush it off / self-deprecate, and they will literally scoff at you or laugh. I've had to put less and less effort into conversations over the years. This is how attractive people can become shallow and uninteresting. And frankly, unattractive. When I was told I was the highest quality meat at the gym by an absolute babe, I felt so objectified. It was great. 10/10ths would marinade and cook up for dinner with rice. Only over the last year or so, when multiple people started telling me you could do better when showing pictures of exes that I deemed to be attractive. When reasonably attractive girls asked me out. When my mates started telling me that I'm a good looking dude. I didn't have my first kiss till I was nearly 21. I was a late bloomer and definitely not attractive in school. I still don't entirely believe it, to be honest. But enough people are telling me it that I'm starting to. So hey ho. 21 a late bloomer, huh? Hit. You might be late, but it's never too late. I'm not attractive, but a girl did scream hey you're cute at me while I was pumping gas the other night. I'm sure she was drunk, but I'll be riding that ego boost for at least the next 3 months. Maybe, just maybe, you're actually cute and the booze just gave her the guts to shout it loud. I like the way you think. That's a big maybe, but for confidence sake I'm going with it. When I heard my little son, 6, tell his friend no I do not look like my mummy. I look like my dad. We are both handsome. Ooh. This is cute. Maybe not so much for mom. Though lol. Well mom has 2 handsome men in her life. So it evens out. In high school, my friends and I stumbled across a rally for 9 over 11 truthers and started to argue with them. At one point one of the truthers got fed up and told us to go away and get a life. He turned to me and said, "You're a good looking guy. Why don't you go get a girlfriend?" It's rare to get that kind of compliment from someone who's pissed at you. You must be fine as duck to hear that from someone angry at you. Rough ex incoming. When I was a teenager, girls would giggle around me. I thought they were making fun. But one day I was hanging out with a friend and it happened. I wanted to leave. He asked why. Then thought I was joking. Brief confusion. Sudden realization. Total upheaval of my entire paradigm. Edit for clarity. I wanted to leave because I thought they were making fun of me. He thought I was joking when I said those girls over there are making fun of me. Because if I had actually made eye contact I would see that they weren't looking at me with disdain but with interest. Wait, do guys do this too? Or were they still making fun of me? In my experience with my dude friends, especially in school, we'll be making fun of him for liking you. Like pointing it out and laughing about that. So the look/laughing probably means someone over there likes you. Still waiting. Edit, that's a lot of upvotes. I'm attracted to you 3. Get a room you 2. I have a really vague perception of how I look. I honestly don't know. But I thought I was ugly right up until I reached my early 20s. Because boys wouldn't approach me. I think it's because I look a lot younger than I actually am. So when I reached 21, I finally looked legal. I was approached by easily the most handsome man I've ever met. And we dated for 2 years. That was a massive confidence booster for me. So although I still don't know how attractive I actually am, that was the first time I realized I wasn't ugly. I'm 21 and I still don't look legal. It's really hard to feel confident about my looks when most people think I'm like 14. People just keep saying I'll appreciate it when I'm older. But that doesn't really help me now lol. Went through this my entire life. Just turned 30. It's still annoying most of the time. People don't take you seriously in your career because you look fresh out of school. People have low expectations of you because they assume you are a novice. While it is nice to pleasantly surprise people once in a while, it would be nice to be treated as someone with competence and experience from the get-go instead of having to prove it every single time. When my S/O said I was radishing very extinguished, did he at least set the radishes on fire first? Any man who extinguishes a radish that wasn't even on fire needs his fireman license revoked. When a guy who incessantly bullied me as a kid for being fat tried to hit on me as an adult. He didn't recognize me. Turned him down in front of all of his friends. Best feeling ever. That sounds so satisfying. Did you reference the bullying? Or just pretend that you didn't know who he was? Nah, I never let him know that we have a history. He just thinks I wasn't interested and can only assume it was based on his appearance at that time. To be fair, maybe he's changed and is actually a nice guy now. I just have no interest in finding that out. I looked pretty cute as a baby. That didn't last long. Peaked in infancy as well. Apparently as a 1-year-old I was flirting with all the stewardesses. As a more serious answer to the question, getting my first girlfriend helped a lot. I had no idea before that what about me would have been even remotely interesting to other people. But she was incredibly sweet and affirming and knew exactly what to say to make me feel better about myself. Because of her I started seeing how much progress I'd made socially. How much some of the things I'd been trying to do to get myself in better shape physically were actually paying dividends. Stuff like that. Now that that relationship has ended, I find myself doubting some of those things again from time to time. But I also realize that that could also just be me being self-defeating. Yeah. My first girlfriend gave me a lot of confidence and now I feel like if I put the effort in people might find me attractive. We broke up a month and a bit ago and whilst I don't go out much, I haven't had received any interest. So maybe she was just telling me nice things through rose tinted glasses. I don't think so. The fact that you found someone who was attracted to you like that means that at the very least, you're attractive to some people. How large that subset is, that's hard to say. However, being attractive doesn't automatically mean that every girl you meet is going to be checking you out and be insanely attractive to you. So I wouldn't necessarily take a lack of outward interest as something damning.